when you're looking at most points in the first two games of an NBA Finals for a player's career, SGA now leading the way with 72 over his first two games of an NBA Finals, just ahead of Allen Iverson with 71. There's Michael Jordan, Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant, a pretty impressive list.
No one-man show achieves what I'm trying to achieve with this game. All the stats and the numbers, they're fun, but I don't play in space as much as I do without having them out there. I don't get open as much as I do without having the screeners out there, whether it's a slide out or a set. Like, those guys are the reason why we're as good of a team as we are. Now, I would trade the points for 2 W's for sure, but, this is where our feet are. This is where we are. You can't go back in the past. You can only try to make the future better, so that's what I'm focused on.
Obviously, he's the MVP of the league, so for him to continue to get better is good, and then he just trusts us to make plays. So when your best player is out there and he trusts you to make a play, it just gives you more confidence, and he understands that.
Unsurprising at this point. It's just kind of what he does. He just continues to progress and improve and rise to every occasion that he puts himself in and that we put ourselves in.
He's the MVP for a reason. He's gonna get off, and I think that we've accepted that. It's a matter of slowing them down, and it's a lot limiting their role players and making it tougher on them at least.
Shai, you can mark down 34 points before they even get on the plane, for the next game. I mean, the guy's going to score. We got to find ways to make it as tough as possible on him. We're going to have to do a lot of things better.
There's a clip circling social media right now from a little while back where SGA was talking about Kobe being his favorite player. He thinks he's the GOAT. So to see his numbers looking like Kobe's got to be pretty special for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's now at the podium.
Coach is definitely right on that. A series is so tricky. Like it definitely is like it's a feel out, but it also can be like there's also so many adjustments made to where like it's almost like hard to like predict and try to determine what they're gonna do with you. You kind of just have to be ready for everything, and just try to be as sharp as you can. And that's how I kind of see it. Teams have like thrown. We've obviously like played well in certain games, and teams have thrown like different coverages at us as a group in a scheme. And I found myself like trying to predict what they're gonna do before almost like it almost catches you off guard. So I try to like just be ready for everything and then let the game come to me.
Third row on the left here.
Hey Shai, Tennis in China here. Not sure if you ever learned about Bruce Lee, as Bruce Lee is also one of Kobe Bryant's idols. And one of his famous quotes is, "The usefulness of a cup is in its emptiness." So how do you look at that empty your mind mentality since the series are tied at 1-1 at this time?
The way I see it is like the series is 1-1. The goal is to win 4 games, and after it being 1-1, it's now the goal is to get to 3 games, and it's first team to 3. So kind of like it's a blank slate. It's a scratch, 1-1, 0-0, and it's first to 3.
Dan, here on the left.
Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. You've wound up with some of the switching cross-matched onto Siakam. I'm just wondering, when you got that sort of him on a switch, he's got a versatile offensive game. What's job one for you when you realized like, oh, I'm on him. I got to deal with him right now.
Yeah, he's obviously a really good player. Like you said, can attack you in many ways, very versatile. We've seen it throughout the playoffs. He's won at a high level. He knows what it takes. And I honestly, with guys like that, you just try to make it difficult for them. They can almost check every box, and you just try to make it as complicated for them as possible. It's a hard job, but if you want to win, you got to get it done.
Alvaro, straight ahead.
Alvaro Martin, Ritmo. When you're a young player coming into the league, you have a list of things you want to develop and get better at. Your coach just mentioned that the team, as much as it's progressed over the years, has a few more levels to go beyond the series, including. Do you sense that? Do you sense that there's more that this team can do as a team collectively in terms of the way you play?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way I view competition, the way I view everything as a whole. Like, you're never going to do anything in life perfectly. And no matter your your age or your upside and whatever it is, you can learn and get better. Now, us being younger, I guess the room is a little bit bigger, but we definitely we haven't not once yet played a perfect basketball game or had a perfect series. So there's definitely plenty of room to get better, and that's one of the things that we focus on as a building and as an organization, and I think that's why we've been able to get better so quickly.
Nick in the middle.
Yeah, Shai, maybe one of those things is an opportunity for you all to continue to get better through the playoffs, which you've talked about as performing at a really high level in one of these Game 3 type situations. Do you guys view these boxes that you continue to check, and maybe this is another one for you all here on the road in a Game 3?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we just have to keep finding ways to get better as a group. If we continue to do that, we'll be just fine. But if we've struggled in an area, that's an area we can get better at, and we have to attack that opportunity. And I think Game 3 is a perfect example of that.
Last question up front.
Shai right here. Michael Pina, The Ringer. Shai, what have you come to appreciate about Alex Caruso as a defender that maybe you didn't anticipate before he became your teammate?
His ability to know where everyone is on the floor, and not just the defense or the offense when he's on defense, but us as well. He knows where all 10 guys are supposed to be, and he plays defense off of feel and tendencies and awareness, almost like how a lot of guys play offense. And it's pretty special to see up close and personal every day. It's literally a talent of his to feel the game the way he does defensively, and it's helped our defense a lot. And it's no surprise why we're a pretty good defense.
Thank you, Shai.
All right, so that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Rick Carlisle said post-game after Game 2, you can just pencil SGA in 34 more in Game 3 because he's going to get it. He is that elite, but it's on us to make it more difficult on him to get those 34 points.
Which is hard. Listen, SGA is a basketball savant. He really has an incredible feel for the game, and I think sometimes we downplay just how brilliant he is because he does it so routinely. And again, what I loved about Game 2, he was a facilitator early. He had 3 assists in Game 1, 30 shots, and I think that led to them losing. In this game, he came out looking to pass the basketball. He had 4 assists in that first quarter, 8 total, and then that creates the space for him to then operate where he doesn't have to worry about the help defender. There literally is no one in our league that's going to be able to contain this guy one-on-one without some kind of help. And he's improved as a three-point shooter, but his ability to really dissect the defense and create matchups and find his space. Look at the space he creates there, the doubt he puts into opposing defenders. This guy is just brilliant with the ball in his hands. And then that efficiency and the pace with which he plays. He's not a guy that you have to spend the entire possession watching. He is a quick decision maker. He loves to play downhill. And if he doesn't have it, he's going to find open teammates. And he was able to do that time and time again. So just really impressed with his overall approach to the game. And this is also a guy that competes defensively. He takes the challenge on that side of the ball. And I think that's going to have to continue if they ultimately want to hoist the Larry O'Brien.
By the way, the breakdown of his 72 points so far in this series, 28 have come in the paint, okay? You got 14 from the mid-range, 12 from 3, and 18 at the free throw line. So kind of spread out there for SGA. We promised you Chet Holmgren. Here he is at the podium.
Obviously, Shai's been balling. It's been no different than what we've seen from him all year, all throughout the playoffs. And he does a really good job of, making the right play when the defense forces him to. And, he's been creating a lot of good looks for everybody else on the floor. And, he's done a really good job of finding the right balance between, punishing the defense when they don't force him to pass, and then making the right play when they do. And it's been good for us, so we got to keep it going.
What do you think makes you guys so good at paint protection and rim protection in general?
I'd say it's kind of our defense as a whole. It starts, with pressuring the ball before it crosses half court, stopping teams from scoring in transition so that we can set our defense, defeating actions, whether it's screens or slide outs or whatever, just kind of controlling them within those. And then it makes it harder to get to the paint in the first place. Post up shell, fighting the catch, whatever it might be. It starts early, and then, making sure that we have each other's back at the rim if somebody does get beat.
How long into your conversation does Mark take you to realize that was his thing? His identity on defense was trying to keep teams away from
Yeah. I wouldn't say our whole identity is that, but at the end of the day, the best shot in basketball is a dunk. It's the highest percentage. So it's like you want to make shots at the rim tough, and then you want to try and eliminate them as much as possible. You eliminate a lot of opportunities to foul as well when you keep players from getting down near the paint. It's a lot easier to guard without fouling the farther you get from the basket. And it's just about forcing the least efficient shots and trusting that over the course of a game that gives you the best chance to win. So he has different philosophies on how to get that done. It changes depending on who we're playing, what they're trying to do. But at the end of the day, the goal is to force teams to do things that give us a chance to win. So
last game was.
All right, so we heard from SGA, we heard from Chet. Jalen Williams, also a big part of this story. He's scheduled up next, and you'll hear him right here on NBA TV.